are back. We are back. So excited to be here. Welcome to episode 2 of She Blaze.
Yes, we made it to the second episode, you guys.
Yes.
I haven't seen your face all week. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm in Atlanta. That's right. People automatically assume that we are in the same space, but we are not. I'm like literally like, where are you at? Where am I at? I'm in Atlanta.
I'm in Brooklyn.
I'm in Atlanta.
I'm in Brooklyn. You're in my hometown.
Oh God. Yes, I've been in Atlanta. I got here on Wednesday. It has been a very, very busy week for the WeedHead. So excited for the various projects that I am working on, but whew, girl, I'm tired.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Well, you're probably tired, but you were probably planning something awesome because your birthday's coming up. We still got to remind the people.
Yes, February 3rd. Okay, so first of all, February 3rd is a big day, not only because I am turning the big 40. Yes, 40. Hey.
You fabulous really, 40, honey.
Officially, yes. No, in addition to turning 40, I am also very excited to announce my do-it-yourself or DIY Green Rush Challenge starts on my birthday. So for the folks that have already bought my book, How to Succeed in the Green Rush, I am taking things to the next level. I have heard you. I have heard your feedback, and you get a chance to jump in on the challenge. We've had a few people in our pilot stages do the challenge, but if you are interested in learning more about the challenge, you want to go to the URL 6e.jarvis.io/start. It is I don't know. I'm just excited to get more people in the industry. So I'm like, who's going to step up to the challenge? We only have enough space for the first 100 registrants. And given that we've already sold over 1,000 books, I'm a little concerned I'm not going to be able to fit everybody in. So registration is limited, but you want to go to 6e.jarvis.io/start if you want to be a part of my birthday challenge, the DIY challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's a great way to even start the year, because January, everybody expects all your resolutions to kind of go away and disappear. But it's like at the beginning of February, you're like still holding everybody accountable for the things that they said they wanted to do in the new year. So I think it's pretty dope.
Yes, I mean, I feel like I always am working for my birthday. This year is at the, same time as the Super Bowl. And I'm not really watching football.
In APL, baby.
Yes, it's in APL. But I figured what is another way for me to celebrate? And that's absolutely to start to transition those folks that have already picked up the book and transition them into the challenge. And what the challenge offers is not only an automatic upgrade to our audiobook. Yes, our audiobook is out, girl. Yes.
Oh my God, it sounds so good. Oh my God, I loved it. You could just drive in the car and just have it playing.
Yes, you can. You can do that. I'm not a fan of listening to my own voice in that way. I'm like, hey, good morning to you, my deep voice. But I appreciated the efforts behind it and of the ability to add tips and tricks into the audiobook was also awesome. And so people get an automatic upgrade to the audiobook that I've added some additional tips and tricks, as well as 4 classes with me. And the 4 classes, the first one, how to enter the cannabis industry, goes with the workbook, right? Like it goes in a company. And the other 3 classes are about cannabis, regulatory and legal, the real science versus bro science, and then the long money in hemp, because trust me, there's long money in hemp. Those 3 classes plus the first one bundled together. And last but not least, of course, we got to hook people up with the individual annual membership for Minorities for Medical Marijuana. Okay? Yes. That network
everybody in the organization
is key. And if you want to be up for the challenge, you have to have people that you're connecting with. And so shout out to Roz McCarthy. Shout out to my family, Minorities for Medical Marijuana. So yes, that all goes into the bundle. Yes.
Well, I'm excited for the bundle. And I think it leads us perfectly into, especially the last class being Hemp Parade, I think it leads us perfectly into our blazing hot topics, right? So, I love blazing on the streets and spilling tea. And so with this, you already know, I haven't brought out the palm trees because it's only episode 2. But, please stay tuned because I'm going to start bringing out the palm trees a little bit. It's going to get shady up in here. Right. So, with the new hemp bill that was passed in 2018, you know, we are super excited and we are all like hemp hooray. But right now, the FDA has like hemp on the super lock. So in Arizona, earlier this week, the FDA went into an Arizona smoke shop and confiscated 24 gummies. Let's look it up. I would say 24 gummies, 23 K-cups, 8 chocolate bars, and the owner was just so surprised because it's hemp CBD, right? Well, yes, that's what we're thinking. But again, you know, with the FDA now being able to regulate the hemp CBD, it is going to get a little tricky there because it's going to be a lot of tugging and pulling until we actually free the hemp plant.
Yeah, I feel like we got the 52 fake out on that one. I mean, listen, I am very excited about what's happening with the hemp farm bill because from a farmer's perspective and agriculturally, we are doing a lot here. But the fact of the matter is in the fine print, and I think we talked about this last episode, but we're starting to see some of it manifest itself. FDA is still saying, okay, guess what? We approved already an FDA or a CBD drug. So this is a drug. CBD is still a drug. Even though hemp may be legal, CBD still needs to be regulated. And yeah, that incident in Arizona is a perfect example of what, you know, I am concerned about as a person that's in the cannabis industry, as well as a person that is in the process of attempting to launch a CBD brand. You know, at the end of the day, we've been operating much like it's a nutraceutical. And now we're at a point where FDA is saying, no, especially for those injectables.
Yeah,
they're saying, hey, this might be a drug. I don't know. I'm just disappointed. That was sort of the ugly for me. Like I said last episode, it's just too much. I mean, and then what does that dispensary owner, what recourse does that dispensary owner have? None.
Well, he's not a dispensary owner, right? He's a smoke shop. So he's where you go and buy, you know, your wraps, your water holder, your water bongs, you know, your regular one hitters. You could get some rigs. So it's really a smoking devices store. So you can even buy jewel pods, which is like, of course, my life. So, you know, those things like that you could buy out of this store. And, you know, CBD wasn't being regulated like this in this way. So people did have CBD, hemp CBD, and you're finding hemp CBD in other places, not just Arizona smoke shops. You're finding them in smoke shops and CBD shops all over. So, you know, what's going to happen to the CBD store that just opened 6 months ago? You know, right. So it kind of makes me nervous already because I am very, I'm a little bit of a cannabis snob, full plant, full spectrum in every type of the way. And so, yeah, I don't always take every hemp CBD, you know, gummy that they give to us. I just think that if they gave us better way to regulate it, then you can be like, okay, we gave you regulations, we gave you rules, you're not applying, you got to go. But they didn't even give us that. They was like, okay, let me go in there and debo all your stuff. Round them up, boys.
Yes, Debo. That's exactly what it does. The government Debo-ing your stuff. So you don't put all this energy. And you point out something really great. I was thinking it was a dispensary in Arizona. It's a smoke shop. That's everywhere. So that means we're all at risk. You know how many smoke shops New York has? You know how many smoke shops Atlanta has? Like I was just in Orlando and there was like literally a smoke shop that looked like it really belonged in Las Vegas. It had the bright lights and all of that in the front. But, you know, to me, I feel like these are people who are operating, not necessarily in mainstream, because that's still kind of fringe with smoke shop, but they've mostly been regulated and they followed those regulations. And so they thought probably they could capitalize on CBD. And I feel like people are increasing their assortments and seeing more on the shelves. And it's a risk. It's a risk.
The risk is high. However, don't fret because we did the right thing in November and we voted really, really well. So we blazing some more hot topics because in Congress, there was a new bill called HR 420 that was introduced by the Democratic Colorado Representative Jared Polis. And it is a bill that is asking cannabis to be regulated like alcohol, which is a game changer, right? It's a game changer. because people have been saying this for the last 3 years. Like, we need to regulate like alcohol. We need regulated like alcohol. And so now that they are thinking about it and the bill has now come to fruition, I think it's pretty awesome. And it's named 420, right?
Well, that was clever, certainly.
Yeah.
Of course, right. You know me, I'm always putting on my little critical hat, trying to find the fine print and just trying to understand the difference between this bill, the HR 420, and the bill that Senator Cory Booker brought to the table, the Marijuana Justice Act. You know, is one more focused on reinvestment and equity, perhaps? Is the other one more focused on the regulation of it, or both? Or is it, you know, is one trumping the other? With the government, sometimes I'm always concerned that we do too much, and so then you have lawmakers looking in multiple places, mm-hmm. and then nothing gets done.
No, nothing gets done. I feel you on that. I feel like, you know, you always got to read the fine print, whether you're in the hospital or you're buying a car, you always got to read the small print. So they haven't released as many details because this bill was newly introduced in about like 72 hours ago. So the details that are coming out are
blazing hot, girl.
Yeah. I almost dropped the cup on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so the details are coming out slowly but surely. So, you know, when you're learning about these things, then we'll hear it. So far, all we know is that the best way that they're trying to put it regulated would rename it as Alcohol, Tobacco, and the Marijuana Tax and Trade Bureau. Within the Department of Treasury. So it wouldn't be oversighted by the FDA or anything like that. So they're looking at changing different bureaus, how they're going to add it in to something that's already made. I personally think cannabis needs its own bureau at this point. I feel like we had so many prohibition. We see in Las Vegas where their distributors are alcohol, you know, that, you know, alcohol doesn't like to compete with us unless they're buying into us. So I believe that we need our own bureau so we can regulate it our own way, have research regulated in its own way as well, because research is going to be the most important step next.
Absolutely. So. I mean, I don't think I could have said it any better, because to be truthful, you know, when you let your competitors manage you or regulate you. So when you said, oh, yeah, this is a great bill because we're going to regulate cannabis like alcohol. Well, first of all, every time you consume cannabis, it is good for you. We cannot say the same for alcohol. And I know that we have a lot of fear due to stigma and propaganda and a lot of the stuff that I call bro science. And, you know, we're constantly trying to fight against. But yeah, I think at least is a step in the right direction, right? In that they're saying, if I am over 21 and I can decide whether or not I'm going to drink this alcoholic beverage that is essentially intoxicating, it is not good for my cells, it's not good for the liver, in, you know, in a extensive kind of way, then maybe I can choose if I want to use cannabis as medicine for myself. I say that I'm choosing cannabis as medicine because, again, 100% of the time, cannabis is actually good for you. It's so sad that that's like our benchmark in terms of alcohol, and I think it already starts the conversation a little shady, but it's a starting point. And I think what we got to do is just keep pounding home the message that even though we are comparing it, because the consumer population and the legislative bodies aren't really understanding the real science, at the end of the day, at some point, to your point, we need our own bureaus. We need people who are experts in cannabinoids and experts in how they are made or manufactured into products and how that may impact us as a consumer population.
Yes, absolutely. I feel you so much, and I can't wait. I want you guys all to stay tuned. Make sure you keep watching us every Saturday, because we're going to go through this bill and we're going to give you the ins and outs, and we're going to give you our strategy to what we think it should really implement. I have quite a few ideas, as Imani probably could tell you, that I've ran down how I think cannabis could be regulated, especially because now we're not even talking about isolating molecules. Again, THC is the only thing in the cannabis plant that gets you high, and there's so many more molecules within this plant that is really just like a multivitamin or super vitamin. It's so excited. And I mean, I'm not much of a science person, but when you finally get and understand science, it's just like a aha moment. So I can't wait till we have our real talk science, cannabis science, because you know, we do have grow science versus real science, but we need real talk cannabis science. That's what we're gonna do in She Blaze, okay?
Yes. Okay.
So I definitely want everybody to stay tuned. And you know, I think it's time for some strategies. You know, it's time. Let's put them up on game. Let's give them the WeedHead real talk. You know.
Oh my goodness. But wait a minute. Before we get to that, we are looking at 2019 outlook, right? And so we already discussed the fact that we now have to deal with the Farm Bill, and there's some backlash in terms of FDA. We also just talked about this new HR 420, and I'm a little bit confused about how is it different from the Marijuana Justice Act, and so we'll take a little bit deeper dive into that. But okay, you know, she works, yes, but she does play a little bit, okay? So we
I'm always looking for the stage.
we cannot pass, but I'll at least give it a little bit of shout out for last week's Golden Globes, okay? And
Golden Globes.
Okay, I said she works, but she plays too, okay? So now I didn't really I was traveling, so I didn't really get a chance to like get into it. But you know what? When I found out about Ms. Regina King, right? Like I felt like I had, it's like your girlfriend winning. I've been watching her since 227.
She's an icon for me. I don't know about a girlfriend. You know, you guys probably know it's a girlfriend.
I definitely thought she was the cutest thing ever on 227. So not only did I think of her as my homegirl, I probably was thinking about her as my girlfriend for real. but yes, she's a winner for supporting role. And I just, I had to give a quick shout out because again, she works, but she plays a little bit. And, she's definitely blazing trails. She's literally been doing this for her whole life. And now finally winning awards. That Black Girl Magic is ridiculous. Her dress was fabulous. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, she always plays for every award show. I think Regina King is again, like Angela Bassett. It's just one of those actresses that is just timeless. You could put them in any movie, any show, cartoon, voiceover, whatever, and it's just going to be amazing. And so it is an iconic moment for me because I grew up with a brown girl on movies, all of the movies that I love, and to see her win is just like breathtaking, especially because we all know that these award shows don't always give us the proper props we deserve. So it's glad that she finally gets her her Golden Globes. Now we just need her to get an Academy Award, and we talking. Hello.
Yes, I'm sure she deserves an Academy Award. Speaking of Academy Award winners, can we talk a little bit about what Halle Berry was wearing?
Okay, Halle Berry. Like, every song in the early 2000s was like a reference Halle Berry as like the baddest ever. Every song starting in the early 2000s, like Halle Berry was like the catchphrase. She was gold. Like she wasn't even video vixen, but you wanted to do a Halle Berry.
Yes. Definitely thought about cutting my hair like that. But now she's rocking it long, and apparently she is not coming to award shows to slay with the long gown. She came through like she was 25.
Okay. Oh my God. She had everything. She had us all plunging with her. Okay. Right. So that's deep. It was just deep and it was perfect. I was like, gosh, I want to look like that when I'm her age. I'm trying to have that body.
Yes. I mean, let's be honest. I can live for a Halle Berry long gown slay moment, of course. But this was something where I did feel it was probably more the MTV Music Awards because she had, it was short. It was a little see-through. It was a little racy and very sexy especially for her age. But I definitely think, as always, listen, I'm about to be 40, so we keep it 100%. Let's keep it real. I think she looks fantastic. And so those are hashtag body goals for sure. But I was surprised.
That's a long award show.
Yes, I feel like maybe her stylist was confused about where she was going, and as a result, I'm just being real. I just feel like as a result, maybe it was the wrong outfit, but she did still play. She still gave me a lot of life, as well as just making me really excited about what my 40s are going to look like, and then my 50s. And I'm just, these are women. And if you talk about Angela B, Angela Bassett, then my 60s, right? Like that is what I'm excited about more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, the Black Girl Magic was totally real at the Golden Globes. We all saw a lot of Black women come and slay. Like Janelle Monáe, she always gives us something new to understand with fashion. I think I'm Rihanna, so I can wear anything, but I don't know if I could pull off that outfit, the yellow hat, the black jacket, I don't know. But, they came to slay. They came and gave women options to wear for all of the galas coming up for this new year. So I was just really excited by the Golden Globes.
Yes. And of course, to me, I'm always questioning, because I know what we do to prepare for our big events. If these women are taking in a hit or two, or an edible, or one or two little pieces of things, or a tincture, just to kind of cut the edge a bit. I mean, especially when the events are happening in California, I'm just kind of curious. I was like, are they? I know people have their wine, and I'll be okay with a little bit.
The weed and wine is what that's the logo out there. We call it cannabis on this side of the woods and on the east, but they still weed and wine on the Wild Wild West. So they definitely was getting a little, spritz in the mouth before the shows.
Yes.
So we can hold it past them. They won't say it to us yet. They'll probably tell you and me, but publicly, probably not just yet. When we start seeing cannabis advertising, then I think we'll see more people coming out of the woodwork that are celebrities, other than, hip hop artists.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. So soon. Well, actually, we are seeing cannabis advertising because we were on Times Square. Sorry. I had to say that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm officially a billboard model, y'all.
Yeah, you said that last week. I mean, but now that we saw the footage, I am very, very excited. And, that really just leads me to a little bit of like what we have planned for 2019 in New York, and what we need to be looking towards, and how do we need to work together strategically. I'm very excited, of course, to have done that, and done it with my sisters, and, again, Brooklyn girl. But the biggest thing that was announced, in addition to all of these other hot topics that we just talked about, is that Governor Cuomo, right, is at this point where, let's be honest, the last 2 years, this man has not supported cannabis legalization. But now I think he figured it out. Sometimes he maybe saw the light. And now he is recently announced in the last also 48, 72 hours that he plans to address cannabis legalization in New York, give some information about what that looks like for him during his upcoming State of the State. Now, of course, I think that as a person who is a legalization advocate and a New Yorker, I'm super excited, of course, because it does mean that he is really serious about this first 100 days. But I am nervous. And just the more that I work.
Because you feel like all the governments have a fine print somewhere?
Yes. Okay. Yes, the fine print. I'm nervous about the fine print. Okay, girl, because let's be honest, like, you have somebody who hasn't necessarily supported legalization, and now he is saying all of the right things, and I think he's being advised appropriately. So I am a little bit excited, but I'm also nervous that it will not, really include the things that we have been talking about in the MRTA, and that's the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act that the majority leader, Crystal Peoples-Stokes, has been, heading and leading. She's the sponsor of the bill. Senator Liz Krueger is the other sponsor. That bill is very comprehensive. And we've been working with the Drug Policy Alliance for almost the last 18 months, really pushing it. And so if he's not necessarily going to say it's exactly that, then what the heck is it? And how do we prepare as business owners? Historically, when you look at the legislative body, that's the assembly and such, the Senate, versus the executive body, the governor, you find that oftentimes when a law gets put into place, that the governor's side of things will often win. And my worry, yes, I'm not putting it out to the universe. My worry is that we are not necessarily, again, looking at the fine print or maybe we won't be privy to it. But I hope that when he announces things, that it does include really important information around expungement, about how we're going to take more people from bail to bud. That's the stuff that we do with Minorities for Medical Marijuana. How are we going to reinvest tax revenue into the neighborhoods and the communities like East New York, like the ones we were brought up in and born in, that were pretty much destroyed by the war on drugs? How are we going to transition New York State as a whole? How are we going to repair the things that have been broken as a result of marijuana prohibition? Keeping in mind that marijuana has been decriminalized in New York State for 40 years at this point. So all of these presumptuous arrests and search and all of those things have been done mostly, in my opinion, unlawfully, because the law has been clear that that is not something we should be arrested on. I don't know. I'm nervous, but I'm also very excited at the same time.
Well, I believe that when he first spoke about in his first 100 days about trying to do adult use cannabis in New York State, that he did say something about the African American communities that have been targeted and, you know, have felt the results of, you know, cannabis prohibition. So I believe that he will do the right thing, and this won't be, you know, like, you know, Christie with scandals and jokes and things of that nature. I believe he will do the right thing by the people, because ultimately we're New Yorkers. We don't want Jersey to beat us, period. So with that being said, you know, I feel like it puts a flame under people, especially I feel like New Jersey must be really, really close, obviously, because it's put a flame under New York State government.
Absolutely. So I mean, he wants to make sure he's not losing revenue. That makes sense. I mean, the bridge and tunnel would be now going in the other direction as we go over to Hoboken to check out our dispensary. You know, I definitely appreciate the competitive spirit of New York, New Jersey, being Brooklyn born, Jersey educated. I care about both. Both need to be legalized in the right way. I'm not going to support BS, right? I'm not here for it, especially after 40. Oh, hell no, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, I get real hyped when it comes to how we're supposed to be doing this. And I definitely have a little bit of a side eye for our Governor Cuomo as he is starting to roll this out, because at the end of the day, he has not been on the ground for, you know, for as long as folks have been. He is not necessarily as tied in. And I hope that what he is doing is getting all of the research, all of the numbers that have shown exactly how disastrous prohibition has been for New York State, how incarceration has gone for New York State under a prohibited marijuana law. And looks to rectify it. But either way, we will take him to task. Either way, that's what we do for, you know, Minorities for Medical Marijuana. And either way, the industry will happen, but it needs to happen in the right way. And so I'm just excited about being a part of that. There's a lot of new announcements that have happened. As a result of this, there's actually a new Buffalo cannabis campus that is now proposed.
Ooh.
That just hit the
oh my God, that's so
yesterday.
exciting.
Yes, you know, we're talking about a company that has Buffalo roots in the ownership, but it is a California company that is operating, and they're saying, hey, we can do some pretty large things here in New York State and reinvest into the community. So more to come on that.
Let's get into real talk, real strategy, because you done got us hyped. You like, oh, I got this coming, I got this going. Okay. Just so you don't spill too much tea on what you got going, give us some real talk and real strategy, because, you know, we do want to figure out how we can hold the governor to be accountable for correct adult use cannabis in New York State.
I've been giving real talk the whole time. But I'll continue to say that we absolutely need to make sure that if you want to be a business, you need to be in the advocate space. Shout out to Minorities for Medical Marijuana, definitely leading the way nationally. Shout out to Roz McCarthy and our executive team. And in New York State, we have Mary Pryor, who is the state president. We're working collectively to try to ensure that the right language gets into bills. We've done it successfully in other states. And so you want to work as a group. You don't want to boil the ocean. I also want to shout out the Drug Policy Alliance, Cassandra and Melissa, who have always are working in a coalition with Start Smart. So there are coalition efforts already happening. Do not try to boil the ocean. Join organization if it's NORML or if it's DPA or if it's Minorities for Medical Marijuana. You want to make sure you're part of that conversation. And it will also connect you to potential strategic partners as well. And of course, if you are still confused about where to begin, I always recommend getting my book, How to Succeed in the Green Rush, because even though it is talking about how to become an entrepreneur, professional, contractor, I do touch on some of the really important factors around advocacy and network in the book as well. And so you can text WeedHead to 30500 if you want to get the book. And we got 3 different kinds: ebook, we got the print, and that audio bundle is pretty good.
The audio bundle is definitely dope, and it will help you prepare for the DIY course that's starting on your birthday. So we're super excited for that. And I mean, like, gosh, where'd the time go? It's already 10:30. But I'm super excited to hear about your book. And if they're looking for lobbying days, definitely keep going to the website, theweedhead.com, because when we know about the lobbying days, we're going to start putting you up there, linking you directly to DPA's lobbying day, NORML's lobbying day, and for MM, definitely. So you got to, in order to get the rules that you want, the laws passed that you want, you got to go and lobby. And trust me, those other big companies are getting people to lobby for them in the rules and regulations that they want.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You got to definitely be active.
Absolutely. And if, again, in addition to the WeedHead.com, if you want to follow along and figure out where in the world is the WeedHead, I think after this, I go back to New York. I may be headed up to Buffalo, but you want to check me out on at the Cannabis CEO from Instagram and Twitter. And then you're looking at the WeedHead on Facebook, hopefully. So yeah, you can definitely follow me there. Where are you, Miss Cannabis Socialite? Where are you about to be?
Okay, well, the Cannabis Socialite is grounded until the Super Bowl because I definitely am going to be in ATL, baby. Hey. So that's where you'll probably catch me next doing a big event. But as far as catching me on social media, because, you know, I'm always throwing shade, always talking the fun stuff, you can follow me on Instagram at Cannabis Socialite, Twitter, Canna Socialite, and on Facebook at Ice Dawson, Cannabis Socialite. Okay. So definitely follow me. I'll follow back.
Okay. And then, of course, every Saturday, you're going to get your morning tea with us, 10 a.m. We're going to go live from wherever we are because the industry is happening so fast. I want to just make sure we're talking to you guys and letting you know what we feel is happening. But of course, we want to make it fun too because she works, she plays. And I got to remind myself in 2019 that she plays as well, right? And she blazes.
Yes.
Hey.
She blazes.
She blazes.
And feel free to drop a comment, show love, show heart.
Yes, we definitely want to see those in the comment boxes. And if you have questions or things you want us to talk about, guests that you want us to have, I got a lot of friends. The WeedHead has a lot of friends in the industry, friends and family, officially, right? Started with my sister friends. But yeah, no, let us know because we will definitely include that in our programming as best as possible. Ice, are you ready to, I mean, it's my day off.
Yeah, I need to smoke and I need coffee. So
yeah, coffee and cannabis. It is time to go. So thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 2. We're going to see you next week. What?
Right.
It's good seeing you, Ice. You look beautiful.
Yeah.
Have a great week, Queen. All righty.
I know that's right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.